There you go.
But I will be saving my story.
What are you going to play it on, man?
Insane
Gummy type thing.
It's been a little hot.
lasers,
It's got to hold up by the music.
pyrotechnics.
She just walked out.
Christmas mood now.
Where does it go in on?
Straight on to the stage.
Can't tell you which side is up.
Winston and I told you, but it was okay.
Yeah, I'd listen to that. Welcome to the XYZ podcast. I am millennial producer Tony. This is episode 44. And joining me, as always, are Gen X Brian.
Hey, hey, what's going on?
Did you say, hey, baby? And Gen Z Winston.
Brian just had like a slight stroke right when he said that.
Yeah.
A middle stroke.
Brian,
a
smile
mini
for us.
stroke.
Make sure you're not drooping.
Hey.
Hey, mama.
I slid into Johnny Bravo.
I think it's just Elvis for a second there. That's pretty funny. Hey, mama. That's so funny. I didn't even do my what it do today because you took
man,
me so
I'm
off
sorry.
guard.
You've thrown
sorry,
Winston
that's-
off.
There was another attempt, as I've done in the past, where like you're
wanted
doing,
to say something and then you keep trying to go back, right? And then it's like
and I'm like lifting a beverage to my mouth. Not clearly Tony's audio cues are not. I don't know what part are we at? What are you drinking, Tony? Cheers, by the way. Whatever it
thank
is.
you.
Cheers.
Looks like
I got my Strongbow with
cider.
with black currant in it.
Mm.
It's good. So
I got me a
good.
glass of white vinegar.
Again, cleaning out the
Yeah.
insides.
Yep, that's it.
Winston's got a drug test to pass soon.
Yep, very, very soon. No, that is a joke. But yeah,
just a couple episodes here we got until Christmas. I think this one's going to come out around Thanksgiving time. We'll have one more in December, and then preempting all of the episode here with business, we're going to have two best of episodes. We've got a full year of content to hand you, and we've forgotten some of what we've talked about. So I'm sure that you, the audience, have also forgotten. So we're going to spoon feed you for a couple of weeks while we take a break for the holidays. And you're getting two best of episodes. I got to say, I'm going to toot our own horn. We got some good stuff.
yeah.
There's some good content in the backlog now.
I feel like we're very conceited, so we just think that our stuff is good regardless.
Well, I mean,
But it's like
let's look at the numbers, man. 44 episodes. There's bound to be something funny.
Exactly.
Huh?
And I always tell people, I was like, we do this more for ourselves than we do it for other people. It's like, yeah, thanks for being along the ride, but this is just a therapy session for three guys.
Oh man. Well, let me ask you a question about Thanksgiving. Are you Winston? This is Winston.
No, Vietnamese people do not celebrate Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we went over that last year.
No kidding.
Well, since you guys have been here, do you do anything for Thanksgiving? You've been you've been in the United States. Okay, so that I made that assumption, but then you made me think maybe not. But the actual question was, do you make a turkey?
Is that cultural appropriation?
No.
Yes, the Native Americans are pissed at all of us.
No, but at the same time, no, not well. Yes, okay, I'm wrong. Yes, occasionally my sister every other year she would kind of do a turkey, but it's not something we do every year. It became, I don't know, to us it's sort of a hassle to stuff the turkey, baked it, and all that. Yeah. So we don't really go for the turkey. And that's because I was gonna explain next is Vietnamese people Thanksgiving, at least for my family, is very untraditional. We sort of just eat random food instead of like typical Thanksgiving.
Does the family gather and you have a big meal though?
Yeah, definitely. We definitely gather, have a big meal. So like, for example, I think last year, the year before was actually good. So the year before that, we did like turkey, we did ham, we did mashed potato with bacon bits and cheddar on it. I made
full American there.
Yeah. I made gravy. But I did like the Jollibee version of gravy. Have you guys ever had Jollibee?
No,
but I want to.
What is that? I don't even know what that
Jollibee is a fried
Filipino?
chicken. Yeah, it's Filipino fried chicken. They have location here. Yeah, it's fast food. It's sort of like, imagine KFC, but if instead of Colonel Sanders being like an old white guy, it's just a B.
Yeah, imagine Asian KFC with spaghetti.
Yeah. Which
It's freaking wild.
It's the best. It's the best spaghetti you will ever have in your life, Brian. And you know why that is? It's a sprinkle of sugar. It's a little sweet and the tomatoes is like, counteracting it. It's the best spaghetti. There's no meatball. It's sausages, like cut sausages. So good.
So it's at a place called Jollibee, and this is a fast food Filipino restaurant?
Yes, but
Where's
it's
the
in the
nearest
U.S., Florida. I think it's Jacksonville, right?
Okay, that's a little bit of a drive.
Is it Jacksonville? Hold on. Now we got to do Google search about
Winston's doing research.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask a question.
Yeah.
Are the two of you ham or turkey for Thanksgiving people?
I'm a ham guy.
Turkey all the way. I do not like ham. I don't dislike ham. I'll eat ham, but all of my life, ham is, I don't love ham.
I want to say this. Ham's an Easter meat.
Yeah.
Ham is for Easter, turkey's for Thanksgiving. I'm putting my foot down.
I would agree with that.
They need to be separated.
Why is there a certain food for Easter?
Easter ham. I mean, there's,
Easter's a real animal confusion holiday anyways. You've got a bunny that lays eggs, but you still have chicks, and then you do ham. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's to me.
There's no confusion. There's no confusion to me for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
There is no pig in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. There is a giant turkey.
Okay.
Peppa Pig might make an appearance.
Okay, so I would say, now that you're saying that, now I think it back. So ham is good for what it is, but what I don't like is when it's sweet. Because it's really just maple, it's honey, right?
Honey glazed and
honey glazed,
maple, on the outside.
Yeah, the maple syrup on the outside, which I don't really like.
A lot of people would do a Dr. Pepper glazed ham.
You do Dr. Pepper. Did we talk about that before?
We talked
right?
Dr. Pepper. Yes. Dr. Pepper in the past. Yes.
We did boiled Dr. Pepper. But no, I was gonna say, now the more you say it, the more I'm like, maybe turkey is better because I do like the breading.
What?
Is it breading? Whatever
stuffing.
Goes inside stuffing. Sorry, I said
stuffing. Well, you have stuffing and dressing. I know there's a distinction.
What's the distinction?
That's my next question. So the
I bet you Tony knows.
I absolutely know. Again, have I said this on the podcast? At one point in time in high school, I had slight aspirations of going to culinary school.
Oh, okay.
And then it's so funny. I had the exact same thing, but when I was at the end of high school, I wanted to go to culinary school. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought about going to culinary school, and then I got a job in a kitchen, and I went, not a freaking chance. This sucks.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Stuffing goes in the bird. Dressing does not.
Oh, okay.
So despite me, I've been wrong all of my life. It's never gone into a turkey to cook, but I've constantly called it stuffing. I know I'm wrong. I won't call it dressing.
Right.
I refuse.
But it's the same thing, though.
Yes, it's technically the way it's cooked and where it's cooked is depending on the name.
It's good, but what I was gonna say was, so for me, that's what make a turkey good, because I can't just eat turkey by itself that much. I don't know if I want to eat 10 slices of turkey. You know what I mean?
Why not? Turkey's good.
I don't know. I feel like
you 10 slices of ham. I say I'd eat 10 slices of turkey before ham.
I wouldn't eat 10 slices of ham. I wouldn't eat 10 slices of either of those, to be honest. I'll do 5 at most, and then maybe a peach cobbler or something.
They're all different sizes. I mean, there's
Vietnamese people Thanksgiving is very weird because we're not traditional like that, to where we're gonna do turkey and all that stuff. Last year we ate lobster, just random stir fry lobster for dinner.
Thanksgiving. Oh, that's cool.
On Thanksgiving, and roasted duck or roasted pork with noodles, which I hated because for me every Thanksgiving I always tell people I do a tour with multiple legs in one day. So for example, last year I picked up my girlfriend. We went to do a little Thanksgiving hangout with my friend and his girlfriend. And then she goes, "Hey, can you drop me off at my uncle for his Thanksgiving dinner?" I said, "Sure." I dropped her off, and I wasn't invited, so I didn't want to go. I ended up stopping at my roommate's parents' place because he was there cooking Thanksgiving dinner. So I ended up staying there cooking dinner with him for 2 hours. Then I get a call from my family and goes, "Hey, do you want to stop by and eat dinner?" I said, "Sure." So I drove back to my house and saw how shitty the dinner was, because it was who eat lobster on Thanksgiving, right?
But lobster's good, right?
Yeah, but I'm not a lobster guy, which there's more to that, but I'm not going to get into it right now.
Okay.
And then I finish eating, and it's 10 minutes later, my girlfriend called me and goes, "Hey, can you pick me up?" I said, "Sure thing." Then I zipped back up to her uncle's house, picked her up, and then we went back to my place to just hang out.
They didn't invite you inside to eat some more? What does she have? Did she have turkey?
She had very Americanized Thanksgiving dinner. But yeah, I don't know. I was real
Americanized.
Yeah, American dinner, not Americanized. Yeah. But I was gonna say like the year before when I did made Jollibee gravy, it's the best thing I've ever made.
So Jollibee puts their gravy recipe online or something?
No, but somebody figured it out, or somebody who
yeah.
used to work for Jollibee did. And so it's a lot. I don't know. There's a lot more seasoning that goes into it rather than just the standard gravy you would get. You know, sometimes like some people might even say you're messing with perfection, but to me, I think it's really good with the seasoning in it. But who knows? Maybe I'll make it for you guys, and then I'll do my tour and I'll add
Jollibee
2 extra
gravy.
legs. Yeah, I'll do 2 extra legs. I'll stop at your house and just scoop gravy and leaves.
Do we want to just keep on this gravy train and keep talking Thanksgiving foods?
We can.
Sure,
all right. What's the best dessert you can have for Thanksgiving? That's what I was.
Skipping right to dessert. We got
man.
All right.
We haven't even discussed cranberry sauce, man.
I'm not a cranberry sauce guy. I'm not a cranberry sauce guy. I'm not a cranberry period kind of guy.
Yeah,
like,
I'm no cranberry juice, no craisins, nothing. Not touching Winston's lips.
Nope. Not even cranberry Sprite. Wouldn't even do that.
Vodka cranberry? No cocktail for you?
No, not that either.
Oh man,
Brian, cranberry sauce?
No, don't like it. I don't like to.
I'm alone here.
Sweet with savory.
Savory. Thank you. But,
really?
Yeah. I know that's counter to what a lot of people love, but yeah. So I have avoided cranberry sauce, can shaped or otherwise, all my life.
I gotta say, can shaped, only way to go.
And then do they do
I
slices?
Shouldn't have to chew it at all. I should be able to slurp the whole thing like a freaking Jello mold.
Oh, God.
It's so cylindrical round piece. It's sort of sweet. It's sort of sour. I love
We're not sure what it's made
jellied
with.
Cranberry sauce.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's disgusting.
So
you wouldn't heat it up or nothing. You just
cranberry
you
sauce?
Don't heat it up. No,
Dude, I don't heat my freaking SpaghettiOs. You think I'm heating cranberry sauce?
That's weird. That's weird.
Nuts.
Every time you say that, it's like you grew up during the Depression.
If there was some gelatin, okay. So here's my question, Tony. If there was some gelatin and you inside SpaghettiOs and you dumped it out and it's in can shape, would you eat SpaghettiO while it's the Jello form?
No. See, I don't keep SpaghettiOs in the fridge. They stay in a cupboard, and then you just crack them open in a room
temperature.
Yeah,
like a nice red wine,
like a nice Pop-Tart. I don't like those heated or cold either. Just room temp.
Right. Yeah, but you dump the can right, and you get that lovely sound effect of the the
well, usually you gotta rub a knife around it, and it slurps out. Yeah,
and
so it's like canned
noise.
Dog food. Yeah, that sort of thing.
It's all moist.
Yeah, it's just
so
it's wet.
You take your slice.
Yeah, I slice it up, have a couple slices. It's good.
Yeah, right. I've never wanted it. I've never had it. It's always, I mean, it's present at all Thanksgivings, but yeah, I don't.
So let me ask then. So no cranberry sauce for either of you guys. What is your favorite traditional Thanksgiving side?
Mashed potato and gravy.
Mashed potatoes all the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if I'm I said, if I'm feeling adventurous, bacon bits on it. Ooh. Wow, so good.
Occasionally down south here now, you've got a delicious homemade mac and cheese, but no, traditionally, I would stuff myself on Thanksgiving with turkey and mashed potatoes, and then
would you do an asparagus with like fried onion?
No, you're thinking green bean casserole.
Green beans casserole. Sorry.
Yes. Green bean casserole, real good. Yeah. I'm not an asparagus guy.
Asparagus is so
don't mess with that.
I don't like asparagus either. I'll do a green bean a little bit, but I don't know. I would still go. Yeah, good. Corn is debatable. I wouldn't do just corn by itself. I don't know.
Can of niblets, good, just good. Man.
I'm starting to think you just like canned stuff.
Maybe.
Tony grew up during the Great Depression.
Yeah. I grew up in the 1920s.
Tony turkey is actually just rations.
We put government cheese on our food.
Oh, hey man. That's so funny.
Okay, so now we're at the end of the meal. I would say, my favorite. After moving down south, I like a good. They don't do candied yams down here, although that's not bad. But a sweet potato casserole.
Really? I've never had that.
Is that with the marshmallows on top?
Absolutely.
Yeah. See, that was another one where I was like, but that was not served as a dessert. That was served as a side. Always.
That's a side. Yes.
Yeah.
So now we're to Winston's question. We're at the end of the meal.
What do you eat? Yeah.
Yeah. If you're going Thanksgiving dessert, what pops to mind? What are you wanting?
Peach cobblers.
Peach cobbler.
1000%.
Ice cream? No ice cream?
Oh, of course. Yeah. Vanilla ice cream with peach cobbler. It's like that warm, and as your ice cream is melting, and it just melts in your mouth.
What are your thoughts on pumpkin pie?
That's a solid choice. Pumpkin pie is very solid.
Again, to me, that's Thanksgiving.
Is that
turkey,
like a northern
the potatoes,
thing or no?
The pumpkin pie.
Is the pumpkin pie a northern thing, or is that just a traditional thing?
I think that's traditional.
Traditional, man. So
the peach cobbler would be something that's southern, right?
That would be more southern, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or if you get really into a banana pudding, that's another one that's but yeah.
I feel like banana pudding is summertime dessert here. That's like a barbecue southern dessert. That's
so I've never gone to like a summer barbecue that's like a non-Asian summer barbecue. So it's like we wouldn't have like he has never been to Texas barbecue. He only does Korean barbecue. Yeah, exactly. Asian people refuse to do dessert. Like it's a very weird thing. Yeah. Like for us, a dessert would be like, and here's an ice cream bar, and then that's it. Like it's not very much like, oh, and this is a thing you would eat. Like I'm telling you, not once have I ever gone out with my parents or my family for dinner and we goes, yeah, let's get dessert. Never, unless it's a birthday.
Yeah,
I'm always too full.
Yeah,
and I would be more likely to go back for a second plate of turkey or mashed potatoes before dessert.
You go for dessert?
Yeah, I'm good for dessert in like an hour. Like I can, but yeah, it's never.
You'll sit and relax, right?
Yeah,
and then come back.
Yeah. Or fall asleep and watch football. That's what all the old people. I remember, like as a child, I remember that, like laughing at like all the older people. Yeah, and it was always the Detroit Lions, and I forget what the reason is, but there's a reason that the Detroit Lions always play on Thanksgiving.
It's the Lions and the Cowboys? Let me do some research on that. There's two teams that always play each year. I got a sub question though. So Winston's going ice cream with his cobbler. Brian and me, pumpkin pie.
Definitely.
The sub question is whipped cream or Cool Whip?
I was just gonna ask. Yeah.
Ooh.
Wait, what do you mean whipped cream or Cool Whip? Isn't it the same thing?
They are not.
Cool Whip.
Cool Whip.
Cool Whip.
Why do you say it like that? Like what?
He's asking.
Whipped cream is dairy. Cool Whip is like hydrogenated whipped oil or something. It's like fake cool. It's like fake.
I will say that Cool Whip was a lot more prevalent up north in my youth. Cool Whip was always.
Did you mean Cool Whip?
Cool Whip. I can't say it right and I can't say it wrong now. Cool Whip.
Cool Whip. You're saying it weird. Why are you putting so much emphasis on the H?
Did you have wheat bread up there?
Whatever they have, I would definitely throw it on there. But no, I think Cool Whip was more prominent in my youth.
Right.
Cool Whip.
Cool Whip.
Yeah. I need enough Cool Whip to cover the pie.
You put Cool Whip on pie. Pie tastes better with Cool Whip.
Right. And
if I still see pie, there's not enough.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, completely covered. But what's funny is part of my family, my aunt's my aunt was Italian, so in addition to Thanksgiving turkey, we would always have lasagna, and then with that brought a lot of Italian like desserts, and there was always cannolis and
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Brownies and like the sheer amount of food that I had offered to me at all these holidays in my youth. It's amazing. I'm not a fat person now.
Winston, ever have a cannoli?
No, never had a cannoli.
You know what it is though?
It's the tube, right? With like cream cheese in it.
It's like it's mascarpone.
I almost said marzipan. Mascarpone.
What's a mascarpone?
Mascarpone is a type of cheese. It's like a sweet cheese. Yeah.
I thought it was Al Capone's cousin.
That's right. Mascarpone. It's
Marcy Capone.
Marcy Capone. Adventure of Mascarpone.
I have looked it up. It is the Lions and the Cowboys. They don't play each other, but those are the two teams that play
every Thanksgiving.
So, like, I've noticed an onslaught in the last couple of days of commercials for football on Christmas Day. I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't know how I feel about it, and my team plays, and I'm just like,
The Steelers?
Steelers play the Chiefs on Christmas Day. I don't feel so nervous about it because the Chiefs have finally lost a game.
Yeah.
So
you don't care about the Taylor Swift buff that they got?
No. If they can lose a game, they can lose another game.
Yeah, that's fair.
And they absolutely cannot go and win the Super Bowl again because I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
Sick of it. Done.
Are you sick of it? My problem with it is the Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes showing up everywhere, that I'm sick of seeing these guys mugs everywhere, that you kind of want them to lose. Be like, come on, man. Do you need AT&T commercials? Do you need State Farm commercials? I mean, those guys are shilling anything, and I get it. They're making lots of money. I understand that, but I also don't care anymore. I never cared in the first place, but I really don't care now. But yeah, I don't know about football on Christmas, man. I'm fine with it on Thanksgiving, but on Christmas, it's like, I don't know.
Speaking of sports on Netflix,
there's
been a recent cultural event that I feel like we should talk about.
How big of a cultural event was it?
I feel like a lot of people tuned into
actually, I saw the number. It was, oh my gosh, I had the.
Wait,
I saw
what are
the
we
number
talking
today.
about?
It was.
We are talking about the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson boxing match.
Yes. Right.
And
believe it or not, did not watch it.
I would never have guessed.
Yeah, didn't bother. Didn't care. Didn't bother. I was just like, dude, okay, congratulations. You beat up a 58-year-old. It's an old man, you know.
See, Brian and me were talking about this.
We watched it.
Both of y'all watched it?
We both watched it. We talked about it before that there's almost no way Jake Paul was getting out of that situation looking good. He either loses and everybody laughs at him for losing to a 58-year-old man, or he beats up a 58-year-old man and everybody just hates him more because of that.
Yeah.
The way the match went, first of all, Tyson after round 2 looked all of those 58 years.
Yeah. It got sad for a minute.
Hold on, pause, time out. Do you think it's rigged?
Well, we found out we got some
rumors about that.
I was going to say we did hear some info today, but
from what I saw though, there was a lot of part where, from what I've seen like clips of, there were a lot of parts where Tyson could have connected and just refused to. So it almost looked like he's intentionally not fighting Jake. You know what I mean?
I was going to say we heard that unsubstantiated information today that what was it, Tony? His contract for
there was a contract for him that said no uppercuts. And it had to go, like, the longer it went, the more Tyson was getting paid. So, like, it had to go past 6 rounds.
Right.
So the fact that it went all 8 is not surprising.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird stuff now.
60 million people. 60 million people watched it, Winston, and you were not one of them.
And by the way, Netflix? Why? Like, why is that the venue? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Dollars, man. Who throw the money at it?
I feel like this was, me and my wife discussed this, that this was like a stress test for their live streaming that they're getting into. And a lot of people were really angry. The match before, the women's match before, I watched in like 30-second chunks because it kept buffering and breaking and I'd have to reload. It was really, really bad. And Netflix is about to be doing NFL games. They're about to be doing WWE.
I don't think, I mean, unless it's a competition of like this, I don't think they're going to get 60 million viewers at once, though, for, a football game.
That's why I'm like, this was the stress test. This was more views than any of this other stuff is going to get. But boy, it was atrocious.
It was bad.
Just bad.
So it's, it started at 8:00, but they ended up not fighting until like midnight. I was up way past longer than I
was not surprised. I saw that there was
Brian was yelling at the TV.
I was. I need to sleep. I have to. Well, it was a Friday night.
Heard,
so
I did hear the fight between. Yeah, it's funny you said that because I was at my girlfriend's house. And she goes, "You're not going to go home and watch the fight?" And I goes, "No, I don't think it's on." She goes, "No, it's on." And she had Netflix, so she pulled it up on her phone. And I'm like, "Oh, this is the undercard. I don't care about this." And then but I did hear the women's match was really good.
Oh,
heard it was the best match of the night, right? Like
I only saw the last 2 matches, so I would say, it was the better of the 2.
The one I was able to watch.
So apparently these 2 women had fought before.
Okay.
It was a rematch. The woman who won before headbutted the other girl.
Yeah.
Which you're not allowed to do.
Yeah.
Cut her eye.
It's huge.
And then that was just the point of attack. She continued to headbutt and continued to punch her until it looked like another eyelid. And I was gagging. It was disgusting.
It was bad. It was super
disgusting.
bad.
She was deducted a point. This girl, this other woman should have been DQ'd. She should have lost the match. She ended up winning. And I'm just like, I don't understand it.
It seemed fixed.
I don't know anything about boxing. That should not have been allowed.
Yeah.
Not at all.
How are you allowed to headbutt in a boxing match? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's
You're
crazy.
Not.
If that was allowed, Mike Tyson should have just bit his ear. He should have 1000% bit Jake Paul's ear.
So my wife, and as we're waiting for this match to start, she was talking about how a bunch of her friends went, I forget, some bar in town that was charging $20 when
to watch it.
Yeah, not this go round, but when Tyson fought Holyfield.
Oh, really?
And so that was when he bit his ear.
Yeah.
So like they paid $20 cover. Everybody's ordering appetizers, got their drinks, sitting at the table, and the match starts, and it goes like, I don't even know how long did that go, Tony? I mean, incredibly. It was over in like minutes, and they were done. So I think that's part of the reason that we've heard that they had to go. Like everybody was talking about a knockout, but I think they needed people to stay tuned in and to watch the whole thing. Because if that match this Friday would have ended in like 2 rounds, people would have been pissed.
Yeah,
people were paying like $3,000, $4,000 for a seat, and then the match.
But were they paying that much to see the knockout?
That's a good argument. Yeah,
I don't know, but the way it ended, it went all 8 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Like by the end, Jake Paul like bowed in reverence, and like it was good spirited at the end. And I think that's the only way he looks good.
Yeah, that, and then Logan Paul show up and said he was gonna kill Mike if they fought. I was just like, God, he makes it so hard to like him.
It's great. He's so unlikable, and he shows up in a wrestling ring, and everybody just immediately dislikes him. It's fantastic. He's such a great heel. Both of them super athletic. I gotta give him credit.
Yeah, I mean, even if you go back and watch their Vine, especially Logan, he used to do those standing backflips like all the time. It was super weird, but yeah, like, extremely athletic dudes. Speaking of extremely athletic dudes, I Show Speed. Do you guys know who this guy is? He's like a Twitch streamer. I Show Speed. Or he's more of a YouTuber.
Okay, yeah, you're asking Tony.
Okay, so let me explain it to you then, Brian. So I Show Speed is this 21-year-old YouTube streamer. He originally maybe have started on Twitch, but he's a streamer essentially. So he does, like, he used to do video game contents and stuff. So he hang out with Jake Paul, Logan Paul, and them. And recently he'd been getting into like going like travel stream where he would go to a country, spend a day or 2 days there and just create content out of it, going to do different things. But something people like started to realize was he's a super freak of a human being, because he was able to do like insane amount of backflip in a day. So one of the things he was trying to do was break the world record for how many backflips you can do consecutively. And he got about halfway through, but then like he fell asleep because he was like, I'm so tired, I need to rest. And he woke up and couldn't get up because his leg was torched.
Jeez.
Another thing people found out is this kid is extremely fast. Like, he's super fast for a normal human being. So what he ended up doing was he did a race against Noah Lyles, our U.S. Olympian.
I was gonna say, he's the Olympian
he's
dude. Yeah,
the fastest man in the world currently, and I think he beat Speed by about a milli of 10 millisecond. Essentially, that's how fast this streamer is. But Speed himself had actually went on and announced that he's going to try to compete and get into the 2028 Olympics.
I was going to say, if he can do all this, then why isn't he competing on that stage?
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm hoping that's what we're going to see. Because imagine we getting a freaking YouTuber out there. You just send this kid out and just beat everybody. That would be extremely cool. But yeah, and then he was saying like he raced against like NFL players and whatnot and other Olympians. But he was essentially saying that there are now people afraid to race against him because they're afraid that they're gonna lose their brand and image because they're losing to this just random YouTuber guy. But yeah, I just thought that was a quick side piece. But yeah,
side piece.
Side piece.
I don't think that term means what you think it does.
Oh, quick little side note. Yeah, is
there
what
you go. Side note.
Just cut in, put that in, glued it in.
A little different.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm distracted by how my cup just keeps going defrosted. See,
I love it though.
The bourbon.
Yeah, the bourbon. Yeah.
Winston, you had a topic you wanted to bring up.
Yes. Yeah, I had a topic that I wanted to hear both of y'all thoughts on, but I've noticed something like recently, and it came from a TikTok, but essentially there are things that sort of just went away very quietly. I feel like we sort of touched on it before when we talked about like cool DVD menus and whatnot, but like
Chicken
for
pox
me,
also.
yeah, chicken pox, right? But for me, something that quietly went away was sort of like Radio Shack, where one day it was there and then it wasn't. Same with Fry's. What was it? Fry's Electronics. Yeah, like they were.
I think that was just local though, right? I don't.
Was it? Were they
Fry's
local?
national?
I always thought Fry's was bigger, but let's see, Fry's.
I mentioned Circuit City.
What is Circuit City?
Same as Fry's.
Oh,
same as Hi-Fi Buys.
Yeah, same as that. It was a thing that Best Buy killed.
Really?
Yeah, Best Buy is still standing. So yeah, so not like Radio Shack's its own thing. And we could talk about Radio Shack because even when Shaquille O'Neal got involved, he couldn't save it, which is unfortunate. But you had Hi-Fi Buys, Best Buy, and Circuit City.
Oh, okay.
They were all essentially the same, right, Tony? I mean, wouldn't you say they were very similar?
So my question
selling appliances and electronics and stuff, you know.
So my question is, why did Best Buy come out on top, but everything else?
That's a good question.
No one knows.
It's insane, right? It's like everybody else just threw in the towel and goes, "All right, guys, Best Buy is in town. It's over for us."
If I had to guess, and this is only because I frequented all of those stores, but probably more so with Best Buy, was that I feel, and this could be totally unfounded, but I feel that like the other ones went harder into appliances.
I agree.
More stock of refrigerators and stoves and stuff like that. Like I don't know if well, I don't know if they had stoves, but if Best Buy, I don't think Best Buy ever sold like Best Buy did sell like they sell appliances, right? I couldn't tell you the last time.
They only do fridges. I think they only do fridges. I think
because they can put a screen on a
no, they do microwaves and stuff now too.
I think they do all of it. I think they do like fridges, stoves.
Yeah.
You guys clearly don't go to Best Buy. Who goes to Best Buy anymore? I guess
that's what I was gonna say. Is now is Best Buy? Do you think Best Buy will be around within the next 10 years?
No,
I don't know, man.
I don't.
In the next 5 years?
10 years, probably not. 5 years, maybe. But yeah,
they're trying to compete. They're like now they're doing like price match against Amazon.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming it's from the same supplier, right? So their whole thing is right. Yeah, their whole thing is just if you want to get it quick, we'll give you the same price as Amazon and just go get it.
You don't have to wait for the 2 days. You can get your laptop there.
Exactly. And so that's what I think it is.
The only thing that I used to go to Best Buy for was physical media, and then they stopped carrying it.
DVDs,
Blu-rays and stuff.
Yeah.
It was like one of the few places left that would carry the stuff, and then it just they're like, we don't have it anymore, and I went, well, then I don't go to you anymore.
Right?
Yeah, I really don't know the last time. Well, actually, I do. I think my dad needed a printer, and so we found like a after or maybe it was a Black Friday sale on a printer for like $50, and we went there and picked it up. That was the last time I was in a Best Buy.
See, my mind goes printer, Staples.
Yeah, I don't think too. Yeah,
is Staples gone? I don't think so.
Sort of.
Staples and Office Max are still around because you still
get but they're not that big though. Like
no, not as much as they used to be. Right. But they are still around because if you need reams of paper,
right,
that's the easiest place Staples. To go. Yeah, you need actual Staples.
I didn't ever like going in those stores.
There's something scary about it for me. I think it's the fluorescent bulbs that they have and the buzzing noise freaks me the hell out.
Well, it's like you want it to be a Best Buy, but it's all work stuff.
Right?
You're like, I don't. Oh.
Okay, that's just not me. I just thought that was me. Yeah, like every time I went in there, I'm like, I don't like it in here.
Okay, so. Aside from store, right? Let's get more into like other stuff that went away that we never really noticed. Another example that I have is, you guys remember back in the day when you turn the TV off and the image shrink into a circle and it goes away?
Yeah.
That's not a thing anymore.
It's because we don't have CRT TVs
Yeah,
anymore.
Exactly.
We could talk a lot of TV stuff. TV static.
Yeah, we got an expert here.
No, that's right. Yeah, this guy worked at Sears.
I did. I didn't sell CRTs. They're all flat screens. But TV fuzz.
Oh, that's right. When you put your finger up on the screen, correct?
Brian, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TVs don't do that anymore.
Oh, man.
Let me ask this. What do you think is generally the oldest child who knows what static is in any medium?
What do you mean? In like what sense?
They still learn about static electricity and science?
Kids don't listen to the radio anymore.
Okay.
Kids probably aren't really watching TV. It's all on-demand stuff.
And they're on
Do
iPads,
they know what static is?
I think they get static from balloons, and that might be like the most
static electricity. Yeah, that's different. I'm talking like
you're talking about
static noise and stuff. Yeah,
white noise static. Oh, that's a good question. I'm gonna have to do some informal surveys with my kids.
Nobody under the age of 10?
It's 1000% not. Yeah, like even 15. I would even say 15-year-olds probably didn't realize it.
All right. I've got a 16-year-old. I'm gonna ask that question too. I'll
Yeah,
have to
that's a
report
good
back
question.
and report back
Yeah.
on static. Talking about the TV going to a little dot. That's funny. I just the other day I picked up a surge protector, and in it on the ends of it, it had the where you can put your phone lines into it.
No way.
Like, yeah, you know, and I asked my friend who I was like, did you ever hook up your phone to your surge protector? And he's like, no, phones were so cheap that they would just go out.
You can just fly it. Yeah.
And I've never had, when I lived in Florida where there's a lot of lightning strikes, you need surge protectors. And one of my TVs was not on a surge protector and it got hit by lightning. And then I could watch TV on about 3 lines. The entire image was condensed to about a single like 3 pixels across the screen. That was it. Everything was condensed in there. But that made me think. I was like, whoever put their phone on a surge protector? But why did you think of that, Winston? Like turning off the TV and it going to the single dot?
Because Family Guy.
Oh, God.
I'm not even joking. Family Guy. It was a joke that Stewie was making where they travel back in time. He goes, yeah, that's the white dot that's trying to go away after we turned off the TV 2 weeks ago because it was getting too old or whatever.
Oh my gosh! I'm telling you, man, Winston. If you ever need like a second calling in your older age, you could be like pop culture.
I would be a Family Guy historian.
Yeah, totally. You could have a class that would talk about all of the things that are no longer relevant in 20 years.
Exactly.
Or that that have you wouldn't know otherwise because you watched Family Guy.
I'm gonna start the very first Seth MacFarlane museum where I just have Family Guy, American Dad, the Orville, Ted just playing 24/7 on these little screens.
Did you ever watch the Orville?
No. I only know of it because of Family Guy, where they made fun of the show itself.
They made fun of the Orville on Family. Oh my gosh, that's
it's
funny.
Hilarious. They also made fun of when Mila Kunis went and did those movies called Bad Moms, like 2 of them. And like she was there was a scene in Family Guy where Mila Kunis' character Meg goes, "Hey guys, Bad Mom 1 and 2 are on streaming," and they basically cuts from her to Peter. And Seth goes, "Sorry, Mila, we don't do that on the show here," which I thought was hilarious.
I got another TV one here for you.
Okay.
This is something that I have experienced working at a TV station.
Okay.
TV sign on and sign offs.
Oh, that's something that sort of went away too. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't.
Does everything just stay on? Yeah.
Everything's 24 hours now. The station that I ran would go. There was just no programming Friday night. Like at a certain time, it just. The station, the ABC station, just went to static for hours.
Really? Not even the classic Indian picture.
I want to say it went to static. I don't know that it went to black. I think it just was static if you turned it on.
Oh,
and then when I worked the Saturday morning shift, it was super early. I think I was in at like 4 or something.
Fire up the cartoons for the day.
It would. I would start the station. We had like this little bumper that played Star Spangled Banner and a bunch of patriotic little things, and then it went
waving
into,
American flag.
it played the national anthem, and then we went to like infomercials for a couple hours before cartoons started.
Ron Popeil.
Yeah,
with Ronco.
I wanted to go back to phones because
wait, hold on. Before you do, I have another thing about TVs.
Oh yes, please.
Okay, remember 3D TVs? When that was the biggest thing everybody ever...
Now,
Tony, was that your
I was selling TVs.
Oh my gosh.
That was it.
Yeah. Oh. So hold on. So Tony, did you ever try to sell a 3D TV to people?
Absolutely. I didn't try to because nobody wants
All right. What year would that be? 2011? 2012?
That sounds right.
Say 2012, a 30-year-old Winston walk in and he goes, I'm looking for a TV and I want 3D capability.
Having flashbacks right now.
Okay, sell it to me. All right. I said, "Hey sir, how are you doing?"
I want to wow my kids or
Winston comes in and goes, "Hey, I'm looking for a 3D TV." And I go, This is my sales pitch. I go,
I've got the model.
We've got a couple models over here. I could.
Hold on. Let's act this out. Let's set the scene. All right. This is the Sears I'm walking into.
All
right. I'm walking. Hey, sir. How are you doing? You work here?
I do.
Okay. I'm looking for a 3D TV. I want to show my kids Coraline in 3D.
There's a couple models over here I could show you. There's not a lot of 3D content. It's rather expensive.
Does it play Coraline in 3D? Else. Does it play Coraline in 3D?
It does play Coraline in 3D.
All right, that's all I want. All right, go ahead. Which model do you have here?
So here's the next question I've got to ask you. Are you looking for a active or a passive 3D glasses model because there's two different types of 3D TVs. I believe it was LG used glasses that were just like kind of glasses that you would use at a movie theater.
Right.
So they were polarized in different directions to give you that 3D effect. Samsung had a different 3D model, and the glasses actually had to be charged and powered.
Yes. And you know why I know that? I had those. My family had an active 3D glasses TV. Amazing. And get this, camera on top of it. There's a built-in camera on top of those TV, Brian. So we were able to install Skype onto our TV and call my family in Vietnam.
In 3D?
In 3D. Man, it was like they were right next to us.
I mean, they were neat, but they were very unnecessary.
Oh yeah, it was stupid.
Did you sell a lot of them? No,
did I sell a lot of them?
Yeah,
no, I was not a good salesman in that.
You know what it was?
I was trying to sell people
Coraline in 3D. That's it.
Yeah, I was trying to sell people TVs they actually wanted, not the ones they thought they wanted.
Tony was honest. Tony was the honest sales guy.
Okay, so say if I had came in and asked you for that 3D TV, would you tell me, hey sir, instead of that, check out this regular ass TV over here?
I can save you about $400 on a TV if you go non 3D because the glasses break. You lose them. There's not that much content.
Let me tell you why you don't want a 3D TV.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you this would have been the sale pitch for me.
$400?
If you wanted me to save money and not buy a 3D TV back in 2011, if I was a 30-year-old trying to wow my children, you would have to just tell me you can buy the Blu-ray box set for Coraline in 3D and it comes with the glasses, and I would have just did that. Did you know that?
Here's probably what I would have told you. I would say for the price of the 50-inch 3D TV, you could buy a 70-inch TV.
That's fair.
There you go.
And Coraline in 3D on top of it.
And Coraline in 3D on top. Yes.
I'm sorry, but I'm so obsessed with Coraline in 3D. Have you guys ever? Have you either of y'all had that box set? Like the steel? Oh my god! If you buy the Blu-ray Coraline in 3D, it came with purple and green 3D glasses that you can put on like you're at the movie theater, and it would be all in 3D. So the movie is like overlaid, so it's like double image, and that's how you get the 3D effect through Blu-ray. You didn't even need a 3D TV. It was the best thing ever.
No, that was the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you how I got a nasty eye infection from 3D glasses?
What?
Ever tell you that?
You got pink eye?
I was just gonna say, Brian went into the theater's bathroom, saw a pair of glasses.
Yeah, someone sat on the glasses and then Brian put them on his face. He's like, I don't feel good.
Pungent.
But it'll derail this. That's a story for another time. I'll have to tell you it another time.
Oh,
okay. I'm going to add it to the list. I got Winston's lobster story that we need to hear some other day.
Oh my God.
I want to go back to phones.
Yes, that's where we were. That's why I'm not going into my story about iFunk.
So that's just another thing that went away was landlines.
Home phones.
I actually heard somebody ask another person the other day, just yesterday, in a professional setting, did you have a landline? And she's like, I've got to stop asking people that. It's like, yeah, God. You do.
It's so funny.
My mom and my in-laws, my wife's parents still have landlines.
That's insane.
Do they get calls from it?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, it's just like another number.
Call from it?
Probably is mostly what it is. So the question that I do have is, so early on, the only way you could get a home phone was through the phone company. And that was it. And eventually once Ma Bell was broken up into Baby Bells, which is what they were called.
Delicious.
That's so funny.
You could start buying a landline at the store and other places. And there were some very well-known strange phones. And I want to know, Winston, I'm just assuming you probably just had a normal phone if you had one.
Yeah.
I would bet money Brian had an interesting phone.
Okay, I can tell you one of mine that my family had when I was growing up.
Please.
So a typical landline would be, for me, what I would imagine is like the coil cable, right? With the handle. And you press the button on the actual machine itself.
The touch tone phone.
The touch tone, yeah. I don't know.
Describe this like it's this relic from another time.
Yeah, exactly. So we had those, but I remember one time my dad came home with the coolest freaking like landline phone known to man. So it was landline. It was connected. But it was like those giant brick phone from the 80s instead of the handle and the coil. You picked it up and it became wireless, and they were
Cordless.
Just a cordless phone.
Cordless
phone. And they were the touch tone inside the little thingy. So to me, I thought it was super cool. But yeah, that was the best one I've ever had, and it glows.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. It glows green.
Oh,
yeah.
You push buttons and they light up. Yeah.
Yep.
So Tony, are you talking like novelty phones, like the Lips or the Garfield?
Oh, okay, never mind.
I'm thinking Garfield. I'm talking
football?
I'm talking the famous Sports Illustrated football phone.
Football one.
I'm talking the clear ones that you could see all the stuff in the 90s.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's super cool.
The classic Mickey Mouse one.
Yeah.
You know, did you have any fun novelty ones?
My cousin had the Mickey Mouse one.
Great one.
She
Classic.
she had the Mickey Mouse one, and no, I had it was the big phone. Like once I was I believe for a gift I got a cordless phone, because prior to that, Winston, if you wanted to like have your parents not hear your conversations, you generally had the phone in the kitchen. And then how long was the cord to where you could wander with the phone to get away from people that would listen to it, right? So
you told me about this, where you would pick it up and walk around with it, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you would go as far as you could in the other room, around the corner. But yeah, cordless phones. So I didn't have, it's kind of shocking I didn't have a cordless phone or a novelty phone, but I did have the cordless phone. Was the big deal. Like once I got a cordless phone, that was it was amazing. And then you'd see how long you're like, man, I went out in the front yard and I was still able to still able to be connected.
Yeah. Have either of you ever used a rotary phone?
Yeah.
Come on. Why would I? Never. No, I've never used. I always wanted to, but I've never used one.
Yeah.
Like, I really
my grandmother
have
had
the
one.
feel of like.
Yeah.
Yep.
That, yeah.
I suppose with today's kids and their tactile sensory things, the rotary phone would be like a big
a big deal. Huge hit. Yeah.
Yeah. My grandmother had one, for years and years and years. So
I had a
great
grandmother who had one.
Yeah. They were like, why? It works.
I always thought it looks cool.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a classic, like, when you think of things in America, like that would be one. For me, at least, obviously.
Right, but if keep in mind though, all innovations, like you don't have time to waste on this. This will speed it up, because making a rotary phone call and now with 10-digit dialing, that take forever.
Yeah,
because you do the number 9 and you got to wait for this thing to go back, and then you do the number 7 and then whatever. So it was.
Imagine trying to text with a rotary phone.
And that's why. So that's why the 0 was at the end.
What do you mean?
So the mechanics. The mechanics of it was the 1 was the closest, because as it was doing the numbers, it was making these electronic connections.
Oh, okay.
And it was all based on the number. So if you dialed 3, that was 3 zaps or whatever.
Right.
You can't have 0 zaps. So the 0 was past the 9 because it was a 10.
Oh, okay. That's so crazy. Yeah, but no, I've never used one of those. It's always seemed super cool.
It's cool, but it's time consuming.
Listen, if I had one of those, I would look like a freaking detectives from the 1950s.
Totally. Get yourself a fedora.
Yeah, fedora. I'm smoking a cigarette. Yeah, that's it. I'll tell a girl to beat it. The streets aren't safe anymore. Something like that.
Dame walked into my office.
You gotta get a candlestick phone is what you need.
What's a candlestick phone?
That's
where you pick
even
it up and
older. So it's just the receiver was a stick with a mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 2 pieces.
That's what Adam West Batman had.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which you learned from
Family Guy.
Yeah. Right. It always comes back to Family Guy.
Yeah, all roads lead back to Seth MacFarlane. No, that's so funny.
I feel like this is just a good continuing topic that we can bring up as we think.
Yeah, no, 1000%. I was gonna say I came up with another thing, and I think I was gonna say I think Brian might even have saw it, because when your kids were growing up, did you ever bought them a Kinect for the Xbox?
Oh,
I've never had an Xbox.
Oh, really? Okay,
yes,
so the Kinect camera, Brian, was did you ever saw that? It was the motion capture camera that Xbox came out with, and they're like, you can play sport like this instead of having Wii strapped to your hand or whatever.
I have played that. My brother-in-law had that.
Okay. Yeah.
And we went over there and played with it, and the kids had a ball. Like, you smack balloons.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. So those were super cool for 3 months, and then it just and nobody cares anymore.
Yeah, that was after the Wii, work right? Yeah, that was after the Wii.
They were trying to compete with the Wii. I think what it was. But I was gonna say that was another thing that was sort of just went
that
away.
falls into your things that were like there and then went away. But
Yeah.
we never really did get back to Radio Shack. But have you ever stepped foot in a Radio Shack?
Yes. When I first got to the US in 2011, 2012,
They
there
were
was
still
a
kicking then,
radio.
okay.
Yeah. I remember it because I wanted to buy an RC helicopter from Radio Shack, which was also like, why is that there? You know what I mean?
Well, like 80s and 90s, right? That's what Radio Shack was known for, where they did like their own electronics and things for a long while. And then as that kind of wasn't popular and faded, it just became a parts store.
Yeah. Which
like I remember going into a Radio Shack before they died, and it was just like, you can find cables and you can find connectors and
USB chargers, but they're like overtaxing them. It's like $32 for an iPhone charger.
Yeah, I wasn't even
thinking that. I'm thinking like, oh, here's amperes for soldering onto stuff, and I was just like, I don't
need a resistor. I need a transistor. I need a resistor for my circuit board.
Yeah,
it was
Who
good
could have
for that.
seen the bankruptcy coming?
Right,
there was no way.
Yeah,
the writing was not on the wall.
Yeah. Okay, time for inventory. We have 70,000 million parts in stock. Okay, let's figure out. Let's go count them all.
Or we got 2,000 coil copper. What do we do with it? I don't know. Just put them on sale.
And every time, my last memories of going into Radio Shack were two things. One, anytime you'd walk through the door, they'd be like, "Are you happy with your cell phone provider?" They were always trying to sell cell phones.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's, I think, back when they called them mobile phones, right?
Mobiles,
mobile phones.
Cellular phones.
Cellular phones.
Try to sell you a pager, Brian?
And no, they would always, and I would go in here with my buddy, and they would always try and upsell you to the Monster cables. Because
What's a
they
Monster
were
cable?
It's a brand.
It's a brand.
Oh, okay.
They were like high-end speaker wires and stuff, and they were like gold-plated.
That's it. They're better because they're
gold-plated.
Yeah. And my buddy, it would always drive him nuts. He'd be like, "Really? You mean to tell me you can tell a difference in the sound? I trust you. You cannot. I assure you, you cannot hear a difference in the sound between these cables." Yeah. That was my last memories. I had fond memories as a child, but the last memories of going in there was like constantly trying to sell me cell phones and Monster cables.
That's so funny.
It's better because it's gold tipped.
Tony used to try to sell gold tip HDMI cables, no?
We did sell Monster cables, also did not try to upsell those.
Oh, okay.
Right. Did you get like a commission? I mean, I really felt business plan.
Yeah, like I had my own business cards and things like that. So if I was talking to somebody, I would give them my card with my like employee number on it. So if they came back, the hope was they would give my card to whoever sold them a TV if I wasn't there, so I would get the commission on it. But
now this guy Tony, he set me straight on gold-plated HDMI cables. So I want to make sure he gets.
You won't believe it. I paid $30,000 for a 3D TV that could not play Coraline in 3D.
Again, I'm talking to like 65-year-old people, and they're going, "But I heard that I need the 1080." I go, "You playing video games? No. You watching Blu-ray movies? What's that?" I go, "You don't need 1080." No, it's better. It's the bigger number. I go, "You're watching TV, and the signal, as soon as it hits a copper wire, and it's going to hit a copper wire, is immediately downgraded to 720. You're still getting HD.
It's clearer than what you got.
Yeah,
it's clearer than what you got.
I need it. I got sick of fighting with people, and I'm going, I went to school for this.
Yeah.
I went to school for this. You don't know how to turn your TV on, and you're going to argue with me about it. I'm done.
For more, see Sears.com. Sears Blue Appliance Group.
So when's 4K catching on? Is 4K ever catching on?
4K TVs?
Yeah. There's 4K, there's 8K TVs.
Yeah.
I mean, if you
now it's more like the OLED versus like HD type thing, Brian. I think that's where the TV stuff are at, because I think 4K capability is just expected.
Right, but capability, but the content.
Oh, content wise,
it's all streaming digital stuff, or if you've got HD, the 4K Blu-rays.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
who's streaming in 4K content?
Do you need a 4K Blu-ray drive to be able to watch 4K?
You need a 4K Blu-ray player in order to see 4K. You also, fun fact, again, let me bring out all of my Sears knowledge. I hate this. I'm gonna have nightmares tonight.
I was gonna say, man,
I'm gonna wake up in a cold turds. I'm gonna wake up in a cold sweat and a blue polo shirt and not know where I am. So depending on the size of your screen, you can't physically see. The human eye cannot physically tell the difference between certain resolutions. So at a computer monitor size, most people are looking at what, like 20-ish monitor, 20 diagonal. You're right up on top of that. That's fine. You can tell the difference between 720 and 1080 there.
Mm-hmm.
You might even be able to tell, especially with video games and quick movement like that, you might be able to tell 4K. You're looking at more at like refresh rates and things there. You don't sit
next to the TV,
foot and a half away from your TV. It's on the other side of the room. So a 32-inch TV, you will never tell the difference between 720 and 1080. You can't. The human eye can't do it.
Oh, it's that low? I thought you were going to tell me 1080 and 4K.
I was going to say,
tell the difference between 720 and 1080 until you get to about a 40-inch, maybe 45. And then to tell the difference between 1080 and 4K, you'd have to get to a 55 or 60-inch TV and be sitting to be at the distance people sit from their TV.
Yeah.
Walking to Costco on a Saturday, man.
You walk into a Best Buy now and listen to some of the BS that people will talk to you about. And I love to go in there, pretend I'm looking at a TV and listen to the just lies that roll out of people.
Trying to make a mission like you were, man.
I know. And I just go, don't bother.
Yeah.
Don't.
Wrong guy.
I'm the Ron Swanson in Parks and Rec where he goes to blows. He's like, hey, sir, can I help you? I know more than you do.
Yeah.
That's me at the TV store. I go, don't talk to me. I don't want to hear it.
I feel like Brian, I feel like the next time either of us need to buy a TV, I feel like we need to take Tony with us just to go with the TVs.
Yeah, man, to talk us in or out of a model.
Yeah, right. Or just to get a better deal for us, you know? I feel like Tony go and start rambling about the 1080p when they're like, sir, we're at 6K now. We got 8K TVs in the back.
You can't have 6K.
You can have 8. You can have 4, 2,
you can have 4, you can have 8. So the next one that if they ever get to it is a 16K. It would have to
there you go, man. I'm gonna walk in there. I'm like, I want a 6K TV. Who's gonna sell me a 6K TV?
See, now that's the prank to pull.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm looking. I know there's 8K TVs. I'm looking for a 9K TV. I know it's out there.
I gotta lie to me.
I need the 3D capability.
I need a 3D 9K TV.
Yep.
Sell it to me now.
And I need the copy of Coraline on Blu-ray in 3D.
And they go in the back and they're dusting it off for you.
Yeah, that's it.
Did I ever tell you that I had a tube? I had one of the first tube HD TVs.
What's a tube HD TV?
It was a flat screen.
It was a CRT. It was slightly rounded. And it was my buddy. I got it from my friend who got it from a pawn shop. So this thing, it was an RCA TV. I can't even remember when it was released. The TV set weighed 200 pounds. That's not an exaggeration. It actually weighed 200 pounds.
Oh, are you talking about those big TVs, like with the giant back?
But no, not the square ones that were like projection TVs. This was like one of the first CRTs that was at 1080p. And he found it in a pawn shop. And it was there for just week. It was this pawn shop. I mentioned the pawn shop with the eyeball in the concrete.
That's right. Yeah, he was stuck. The glass eye.
Where we used to near where we used to work. We would go in there and he would see this thing and he would see this thing. And he finally made the guy an offer. He's like, I know you're not selling this. This was way before the HD conversion. This was I've looked it up online. It was an RCA CRT TV. Humongous. Yeah. Thing was massive. I forget how wide it was, but it was great. And so he went in there and threw him this, hey, the guy was asking probably $500-$600. He's like, I'll give you $100 for it. And the guy's probably like, 200 and it's yours. And so he ended up getting it and he had it for a while. And I mean, it was amazing. It was a CRT. It was a glass tube that had an HD picture. And he had it forever. And then finally, I think he was moving and he was like, listen, man, do you want this thing? I can't. It's just too heavy to lug around. And I was like, yeah, sure, man. So he brings it over. We bring it up my back stairs. I'm surprised.
Man, operation. They bring it up.
I mean, we were struggling. We probably needed more people. But yeah, I mean, it was really 200 pounds. And so for the longest time, I had this humongous CRT HD TV.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, hey, do you want this? You go, no, let's take it out back and put it out of its misery because I would have taken it to a backyard and shot it.
Yeah. I mean, it really would be great to do. I mean,
I was going to say Brian started to move and call up another guy and be like, hey, man, I got this 40-inch CRTV. You want it?
It was bigger than that.
The cycle continues.
Yeah, it was
200 best offer.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I'm making money off this thing. Yeah. So I ended up giving it to my brother, and I don't think it made it with him and his move. So who knows where it is?
Man.
But yeah, it was massive. But that was a pawn shop score.
That's another thing that quietly went away. Pawn shops. Don't think people go to. I don't think people go to pawn
There's
shop
still pawn
anymore.
shops.
There's no way.
Yes,
Really?
there are. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know what else quietly went away? This episode. I'm wrapping us up. It's time. Hey, if you're listening, thanks. We appreciate it. If you like this, tell a friend. Go check us out wherever you're listening and rate and subscribe. That always helps. That's cool. Downloads help us more than streams, but we're still happy you're here. Yeah, if you want us to talk about something, show up and chat live. Our schedules are going up. Thanks to Winston on our Instagram page, where you can find us on Instagram. But you can always send us an email at podcastxyz@gmail.com. You can also check us out on YouTube and Twitch. If we're not streaming during the week with this, usually now someone's streaming a game, so come check us out here. We've got merch. The merch sale is still happening. There's some time left until Black Friday. Go use code WHATITDO, all caps, all one word, for 10% off your order. Get your orders in before the holidays so you can get your stuff before Christmas. You can find the merch store, Winston's Watch and Listen List, and all kinds of other fun stuff at our home on the web, podcastxyz.podbean.com. And with that, we'll see everybody next time.
See you later.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.